Welcome to the Society of Actuaries election process, where members like you can get involved by becoming a candidate for nomination or by voting for leadership. I'm Fridman, Chair of the 2024 Nominating Committee. As we embark on this journey together, your participation holds the key to supporting the SOA strategic plan. Thank you for giving back to the profession, for taking an active role in being informed, and for possibly taking the next step to run for the SOA board member or President-elect and Vice Chair. First, I would like to thank the 2024 Nominating Committee for their commitment, hard work, and time put into this volunteer role. I'm grateful for their contributions to the election process. The primary responsibility of the Nominating Committee is to create a ballot with the strongest candidates for the annual SOA Board of Directors election. The Nominating Committee partners with the SOA Board Directors, committee chairs, SOA staff, and volunteers to achieve the committee's charge. Let's walk through the 2024 SOA election key dates. From March 29th through April 19th is a call for nominations. On June 17th, there will be a ballot announcement to membership. Between June 18th and 26th is a deadline for nominees not chosen to contact the SOA if they choose to begin the petition process. The petition process runs from July 8th to August 6th. The elections are from August the 19th through September 6th. The election results will be available on September 16th or 17th. Remember, more information on dates, how to become a candidate, or the election process is available at soa.org/elections. Next, I'd like to introduce Scott Randalls, past chair of the Nominating Committee, whose deep understanding of the process will serve as a resource as he guides you through the steps and procedures of the SOA's elections.
Let's start with the position criteria that the Nominating Committee will be using to select the President-elect and Vice Chair and elected board member for the ballot. Beginning with President-elect and Vice Chair, some of the qualities considered by the Nominating Committee include leadership, strategic execution, ambassadorship, ethics and transparency, collaboration, and commitment. For elected board member, qualities considered by the Nominating Committee include intellectual engagement, stewardship, strategic execution, ethics and transparency, collaboration, and commitment.
Remember, as an elected board member, you are one of 18 people that will need to work effectively across the entire board and their committees to be able to advance the profession. I wanted to talk a little bit about the position expectations and time commitments next. The President-elect commitment has been around 40 days of virtual and in-person meetings in the past. That recently has been less due to the pandemic. For the elected board member, speaking engagements are distributed among all the officers and board members. The board member term is 3 years long. The presidential term is 3 years, with the first year being president-elect and vice chair of the board, year 2 being president and chair of the board, and year 3 as past president. It is also expected as a board member or president-elect that you will attend all of the board meetings either virtually or in person. And there is expense reimbursement available for board members and president-elect to be able to meet that commitment. Now, I want to spend a little more time discussing the information that the Nominating Committee will gather as part of the selection process. As a reminder, an open call for nominations that's open to all FSAs for both president-elect and elected board member. At that time, at soa.org/elections, a questionnaire will be published. You will be asked to provide answers to a series of questions on this questionnaire. The questionnaire is very important for the Nominating Committee as they will use the information you provide to match your skill sets to the needs of each position. Also, if you are selected to be on the ballot, the questionnaire will be made public to all voting members as part of the election process. Next, a third-party background check will occur. An external party will perform a background check and provide results back to Society of Actuaries staff. If anything problematic comes back on the background check, you will be given an opportunity to provide additional information. And finally, a nominating committee interview will take place. Each interview will be conducted by 2 nominating committee members and 1 SOA staff and be recorded and last approximately 30 to 45 minutes. The information will be recorded but kept confidential within the nominating committee so that other nominating committee members not present during the interview can understand and hear the answers that you provide. Sample questions can be found on the SOA election website, as well as scheduling work occur through this same website. I wanted to talk through the nominating committee process. The nominating committee is responsible for nominating candidates for election in accordance with SOA policies. The SOA Governance and Policy Committee of the Board of Directors, along with the nominating committee, identify the skills and experience that the board needs based on the initiatives in the strategic plan and other issues facing the SOA. The nominating committee then independently evaluates the qualifications of all candidates relative to the needs identified. The process generally is fairly competitive, and there are usually more submissions each year than spots on the ballot. The nominating committee is responsible to then pare this list down to 2 to 3 for president-elect, of which ultimately 1 will be elected, and then recommend 9 to 10 candidates to be placed on the ballot for elected board member, in which 5 will ultimately be elected. The nominating committee goes through a rigorous process in the review of all candidates and relies heavily on the answers to the questionnaires and interviews in the evaluation. Once the nomination committee confirms the list of nominees, the SOA board confirms and approves that the nominating committee followed appropriate policies in putting together the ballot. Once this occurs, the list of endorsed candidates for the ballot are established. All candidates will then be contacted and will be told whether they were selected to be an endorsed candidate on the ballot. Nominees that were not placed on the ballot have the opportunity to then put their name forward for the petition process. But only those candidates that went through the nominating committee vetting process are eligible to go through the petition process. Non-endorsed nominees need a certain number of petitions for a place on the ballot, and that is set at 10% of the previous year president-elect voters. Next, I wanted to provide a few reminders regarding communication from candidates. As a reminder, it is suggested that you not communicate in advance of being notified that you were placed on the ballot. The SOA does have a lot of resources available for candidates. All candidates will be provided a web page in which you can load bios, answers to the questions from the questionnaire, a photo, and you will have the opportunity to provide a video message. In addition, up to 2 emails can also be sent directly from the SOA to the voter community on behalf of your candidacy. Some additional general guidelines to remember. We suggest that you present your views on issues from the SOA strategic plan. Avoid any negative references to SOA staff or SOA members, and you should not use SOA funds or staff resources except as explicitly permitted. Feel free to promote yourself via personal emails or on social media, but please keep in mind the importance of adhering to the communication policies and procedures that are established.
Thank you for watching this video and for your interest in the election process. Your engagement and involvement are vital to the success of the SOA. Don't forget the 2024 SOA election key dates. March 29th through April 19th is a call for nominations. On June 17th, the ballot will be announced to membership. Between June 18th and 26th is the deadline for nominees not chosen to contact the SOA if they choose to begin the petition process. The petition process runs from July 8th through August 6th. The SOA board elections are between August 19th and September 6th. The election results will be announced on September 16th or the 17th. Here are some other important dates if you're elected. On October 26th and 27th is a board meeting in National Harbor, Maryland. Held in the fall will be a leadership orientation meeting. If you have any questions or want to discover more on how to become a candidate or the election process, please visit soa.org/elections. Thank you for your interest and for championing the SOA and the actuarial profession.